and I went to, and I will summarize all this inshallah once we finish Juz' Tabarak. Each Juz' is its own cluster of surahs, and they talk about specific aspects of Islam. And this Juz' that we're in, which is from Mulk to An-Nas, and Mulk to Al-Mursalat, forgive me, the 29th Juz', which is the third cluster. It talks about representation of Islam, representation, because that's an important part for us. We represent our deen within our lives. And in order to represent appropriately, you need certain things. You need a certain amount of knowledge, ethics, spirituality, and behaviors. And that's what the first 4 surahs basically talk about, each one talking about one of these topics, Al-Mulk al-Qalam, Al-Haqq al-Ma'arij. And then it gave us 2 examples of representation and da'wah, because that's what representation turns into. It turns into da'wah. One that was successful, and one that was not. The not was first Surah Nuh, where Nuh did everything right, but it still didn't work out. And the second was the Prophet ﷺ with the jinn. He didn't even know he was doing it, and it still worked out. And the Surah Al-Jinn talked about what the pillars of a proper da'wah was. And then after that, you had Muzammil and Muddathir, which are 2 of the earliest surahs ever to be revealed to the Prophet ﷺ. And I say ever, as in they're number 2 and 3, or 3 and 4, and 4 and 5, like amongst the first 5. Very early on. And they talked about what is in the deen for you. Like, what are you doing? What is Islam for you? Islam for you are 2 basic things. There's what you take from it, and then what you're going to offer from it. So what you take from it is Surah Al-Muzammil. You take from it the Qiyam al-Layl, and the Quran, and the Tawakkul, and the Dhikr, and the closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the dedication and devotion, the pieces that will grow your spirit and make you feel fulfilled, and allow you to survive the waves, the violent waves of life. And then there's the part which you offer outwards. Like, what is it that what are the commands that you're going to carry out to the world that's going to be, that's going to affect the world that you live in, that's going to have an impact on the planet and on the people around you, which is what Surah Al-Muddathir was. And we talked about that in some degree of depth over the last maybe 5 weeks. The last 3 surahs in this cluster are very simple. There are 3 examples. 3 examples of representation or da'wah. One that is going to be based on tarheeb. Tarheeb as in reverence or fear, right? Talking about punishment. That's the last one, Mursalat. One that's going to be talking about targheeb. Is going to use the narrative of reward or of greed, of wanting something, of desire, right? And one that's going to be talking about intellect, reason, which is the first one, which is what we're going to recite tonight. There are 3 ways for you to bring this deen forward. Like, after you've understood the requirements, you've seen the examples, you know what's in it for you and what you're taking to the world. Here are 3 ways to perform da'wah. It's not all one way, right? The best of them all is the first one. It's the most intimate, and it's the most impactful, which is the one that's based on reason. When you're speaking to the higher part of the human spirit. And then after that, there's the one that's just talking about reward, desire, what's in it, what you're going to get, or what you don't want to be, which is what Musalat. And if you go home today and just read them, you'll understand